Hey guys, welcome back. I'm gonna try to make it only an hour today. Last week was an hour and 20 minutes. The week before was an hour and 20 minutes. The first thing I want to talk about is everybody that gets on here. You guys do me a favor, and I don't see anybody yet, but and I'm not gonna talk about the good topics till I get a lot of people on. But what I want you guys to do is do me a favor and share this video, this Facebook Live, because what's happening is I didn't think it was going to get this big. I didn't think we were going to have this many people viewing on Facebook. And this was actually a trial for me, because I do think outside of the box, and I do think about things that people do not believe in. And I talk about it, but what I talk myself into because of Leroy and JBI, what I talk myself into is getting on here before they did and just talk about my past experience and what I've actually done research on. I'm that guy. We got the Sahara dust here in Texas and it's kicking my butt. I'm that guy where just the other night I was laying in bed and I couldn't go to sleep. My wife's asleep, and all of a sudden I come up with this idea and I run in the other room and I'll write it down, or I'll write a diagram of it. What I think would better seniors out there, that would better seniors out there. And I'm working on, and to go right into that, I'm working on like my talking points, are a lot left over from last week and the week before that I need to get to, that I kind of ran out of time. Because guys, you know me, I can talk for a long time, especially that subject that I love. But what I did was I started doing this not thinking it was going to be this big. And it has blown up. My channel's blown up. My Facebook channel, I'm already topped out. Then I have that senior softball bat reviews Facebook. It's called a business page. Then I have Instagram, have a lot of followers on there. Then I have my YouTube channel, which I'm almost at. I think I'm 8,000 subscribers. I'd love to get to 10,000. That would be awesome. And I want to try to change subjects every week. I always want to talk about something different. But what got me into this was JBI talking about what he talks about, because it's a different subject, And then, what's up, Chino? JBI talking about his subject, and then Leroy talking about his, totally different from each other, and then they get together and collaborate every once in a while. What I'd like to do is bring more people on. I don't know about today. Like I'm gonna get with Charlie Mueller, and he brought up something the other day that he wants to talk about how do you prepare yourself for game situations, mentally. The mental part about games, and I think Charlie, because I've seen him hit under clutch, in the clutch. I played with him for years. Played against him for years too. So what I want to get with Charlie is get together with him and kind of share our thoughts on hitting under the clutch whenever you're out there and you're playing, which would benefit a lot of you AA and AAA, a lot of you AA and AAA guys. You major plus guys already, this is something you've probably already done, already heard whenever you were growing up, on how to deal with that pressure situation, how to control it when you're up there. And you got to either get a base hit or hit a home run. And usually at the end of the games, it's usually get a base hit, because the home runs are gone. We miss you. That's what's up. When you're there, Chino, I have more control. But when you're not there, it tends like everybody's out of control. They don't know what they're doing. They start bossing me around, So yeah, I do miss you being there. Chino is it your neck, Chino? I think it's your neck. Chino's got a pinched nerve in his neck affecting his right arm, I think is what it is. And he's going to the doctor and having it checked. And I want to get into about these injuries too later on in this Facebook Live and talk to you guys. There's 4 different things that I'm working on. The first thing that is actually coming along faster than I thought it was. I thought it would actually be ready. You do, actually. I've seen you hit in that situation, Chino. But a lot of guys, and believe it or not, a lot of guys don't know how to handle, and that's what me and Charlie, and maybe you can get you on too and talk about that about hitting in that clutch, hitting under that pressure. And it's not all about hitting home runs. It's about getting a base hit with a 5-man infield, which makes it a little bit more tougher. And talk about that because, like I said, a lot of you major plus, even you major guys really don't deal with that because you've already there, you've been there and done that. You've achieved that, right? So what I'm here for basically is for the AA to AAA guys that want to get to that situation and want to be there, because to be in that major plus level, you've got to hit under pressure. You've got to hit in the clutch or you won't be playing there that much anymore. Because like I said last week about this being ran as a business, if you don't hit in the clutch a lot in senior softball or even regular kids softball, you won't play with a really good team that much anymore. Because, and then what happens is guys in front of you are getting walked just to get to you. And there's ways that you can deal with that situation, guys. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but there's ways that you guys can deal with that situation. I know my way of dealing with it. I know what I've done in the past to deal with it because I consider myself a clutch hitter. Charlie is a clutch hitter. Guys at Chino, clutch hitter. I've seen those guys hit under pressure. Man. But I want to talk with Charlie. I'm not too much in this video about it either because I don't want this video going too long. But I do want to talk about that in another video. Basically, what I want to do in these videos are more educational than anything, because what I do here is I actually do all the Facebook Live here, and then I download it onto my YouTube channel. First, it goes to my membership channel, and then later on, it goes over to my public channel on my YouTube. Another thing to share this, guys. I don't share with a lot of people. I know a lot of guys out there doing Facebook Live, but just share. That way it gets out there. I get more viewership. I get more people joining. I get more people onto my YouTube channel and even my Instagram page, stuff like that. I'm working on 4 different things. One of them I can talk about, and it's a ball. It's a BP ball. Now, it's a different BP ball because everybody wants all their BP balls like those. It's going to be a one cover. I'm not going to give too much information about it, but I've thought about this design for years. It's going to be a one cover. It's not going to be hot. It's not going to be dummied down or anything like that. It's not going to be the balls that you used to hit a long time ago in the batting cages, but it's not going to damage your bat. What my thought about it was I didn't want something that was going to damage your bat. And I didn't want something that was going to be as hot as a 44-375, because it's going to be more like a training ball. You got to cut this ball. It's going to be a ball that you have to cut, and it's going to be the same color as the balls we're hitting today. That we don't focus too much on a different color ball, on a different cover because of the spin rotation. And it might be a 1 color, 2 color. I really don't know. I know 1 color is going to be the color of the balls that we're hitting. And there's a company working on it for me now, and I'm giving them all the information. And later on down the road, and then we got to test that ball. I've got to approve it because I want a ball that's going to last a long time for BP, a long time. I want a ball that's not going to, when you hit it, it's going to be like a stadium ball and go a long ways. I think that serves as a dispurpose for a lot of you guys that want to train. It's a ball that you're going to have to cut to hit it a long way. It's a ball that you're going to have to spin it to hit it a long way. The one thing that I can see when I'm hitting, let's say the spinners, you can't pick up the spin because the ball looks like it's 1 color. And you don't know which way it's spinning. It's spinning forward or spinning backwards, right? You can tell if you hit a knuckleball with those spinners, but that's it. So a lot of you guys are saying, well, it's the way the ball spins. That reason you like the spinners. I don't know that yet. I haven't hit a ball where I feel it when I cut it because I'm mainly a cutter. I don't break a lot of bats, guys. I don't break a lot of bats. That's another topic I can get into about square ball hitters and then cutters. And I do, because I get frustrated, not really frustrated, but the reason I started doing this is to get out information because I see so much shit that's on Facebook and I read it, but I don't reply to it. And I just thought I would do a video on it, right? So I put videos out, and a lot of these videos that I'm going to be doing to educate a lot, not and here's another thing too, it's just my opinion. It's not going to be, if you guys want to go with it, you can go with it. If not, then you can go to someone else. It doesn't bother me. It's just something that I think that I've learned through the past that I think would benefit a lot of the up and coming seniors. Because think about it, guys, there's a lot of them. What's up, Charlie? There's a lot of them than there is the major and major plus guys. There's a lot of the AA and a lot of the AAA, because I've been to those guys' tournaments, right? And there is a ton of people there, a ton of people. And then you go to, and I played there, played major plus for 10 years, you know, I've played 50 major plus, 55s and 60s major plus. And we'll probably play 65 major plus when it comes around. So not a lot of teams, not a lot of people. You walk into the park and it's not crowded, but you walk into a AA or AAA and there is everybody there. And I went around to the parks all over the place. I went around the parks just to see people and talk to people and videotape some games. So working on 4 different things. Another one's a ball, and it's a ball like not anybody else's ball. It's not going to be a high performance. You know, I think Worth came out with a ball 4 or 5 years ago that guys were hitting 400 feet with that. It's not going to be one of those. It'll be more like a training. Because if you get a ball, and I'm going to walk right into that when I'm talking about these review guys out there, because I heard this, somebody's talking, I guess one of my minions was talking to somebody about somebody doing a review. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. So I want a BP ball that lasts a long time, you know, doesn't get too dirty. You know, that actually it's more like a training ball. It's more like a cutting training. You can actually try to cut this. Charlie Mueller. Charlie, I just got through talking about me and you coming on next week and us talking about different things that would benefit a lot of people. Charlie's teammate from Crush for a long time, Charlie. And then I played with Charlie. I played against Charlie for years too. Charlie was with Larry's Used Cars in San Antonio and Austin years ago. He played with them out of, I think he played highest level, wasn't it? A-ball or something, Charlie? In Texas, major. No, he was major. Charlie played with them for a long time. Charlie's a clutch hitter. He's ended. You know, ask Alan Tanner about that. Remember that, Charlie? Alan Tanner? You left him on the field with a grand slam with 2 outs. And they didn't know we won. We came in a buffet. We might have scored 12 runs in the buffet to beat him. And the last of them were yours. We hit a home run to win the game, and they stare out on the field. And we were clapping, jumping up and down. And they were just walking like, oh, my God, what just happened to us? That was awesome. That was awesome, Charlie. I remember that for the rest of my life. But there's 4 different things that we're working on, that I'm working on. And one of them, and one's going to be the ball. They're working on it right now. I get updates every couple of days, and I'm not going to say who it is until we get it. We're going to do some testing on it and probably tweak it a little bit. You know, I say tweaking. That's another thing I want to get into. We're going to tune it a little bit, because this tweaking, biggest home run you ever hit. Yes, it was. We have that on video too, Charlie. And I think Bob O'Brien has it on video. I think too. You look at it all the time, don't you? God, you can't interrupt me, Charlie. I start forgetting shit about what I'm going to do. But we're going to be fine tuning, because I think another thing I want to talk about this bat, you know, a little bit about fine tuning what Mikan has done, but I'll get into that later on. Tweaking, I think a better term for it is fine tuning the bat, you know, because I think, you know, and we talked about this for years about a bat is like a tuning fork, you know. You got to fine tune it. And I think this is just me. When talking about bats, there is a formula for a bat that is called tuning it in. So when you're breaking a bat in, like when you have a bat and you're breaking that bat in, you got to fine tune it. A lot of you guys out there are giving up on breaking a bat in. Prime example. And I think this has to do with the way the videos are being played out there nowadays. I'm kind of going off on a little tangent here and going off of what I was going to talk about at the beginning, but I'll talk about this. What I think has happened, with a lot of these bat review people out there is a lot of you guys are misinformed about what it takes to break a bat in. And I'm probably gonna get lengthy in this, but I think it's an important topic on what you guys need to understand is what I see with a lot of bat reviews is they pull it out of the wrapper, right? And they take 40, 50 swings with it. And then right there, you get their opinion. They don't tell you how many swings they got on it, but automatically you get an opinion on that bat at 40, 50, 60, 70 swings. And you get one or two guys will tell them how they feel or what they think about the bat. We put out 2 videos, a teaser video at the beginning, and I've always done this, a teaser video at the beginning telling you how many swings we got on it, and you can watch us swing it. And then at the end, do the final review and tell you how many swings it took us to get there. What I see a lot of, not all of you guys, it's not absolutes like everybody, I'm just saying a lot of you guys out there are putting these reviews out and they're more like commercials for the bat industry, the bat that you got. So I think, what's up, Bubba? I think a lot of you guys out there are misinformed when you pick up a bat and you take 10 swings with it and then you say it doesn't fit your swing. Well, the reason it doesn't fit your swing, like on this bat the other day, okay, which is a very good bat. Somebody wants to sell it, they took 10 swings with it, says it doesn't fit their swing. Well, the reason that it doesn't fit your swing because you've never swung a bat like this before. So you're giving up on a top tier bat that you only take 10, 20, 30 swings on. You have to get used to swinging this bat because you've seen somebody else swinging it, and you got whole different thoughts, or maybe you jumped from, I don't even have one of those other ones. Maybe you jumped, I'm just gonna throw this one there, which is maybe you jumped from this bat to this bat because you heard good about this bat. Well, you used to swing in this bat, which is more like a balance bat, and you jumped into this one, which is an end load. So it's gonna swing totally different to you. Thanks, brother. So I don't wanna read all your crap, dudes. Chino. So what people do is they give up on it because they saw the bat review guy hit that bat, and that guy said it was hot as shit. It's not hot as shit. So you're buying a bat and you're trying to have to sell it again because it doesn't fit your swing. And I did a video on this too, guys, about what fits your swing. You might be used to swinging a 2.0. If you older seniors out there, you might be used to swinging a red knob. You might be used to swinging that 13-inch, was it blue knob from Dudley, that OG? Well, you have to find a bat that swings just like that bat that is a top tier bat that's on my top 10, preferably top 5. If those numbers of that bat matches the numbers of the bat that you want to purchase, you're going to walk right into that swinging it really good. So when you pick up a bat that is a good bat and you're chunking it because you didn't swing good between 10 to 15, 20 rounds, and plus you're not giving the bat a chance. This bat opens up at 100. It makes a shitty sound when you first, both of these do. They make shitty sounds when you first start swinging it. I have video of us hitting this behind the scenes where my guys are going, I don't like that bat. I don't like that bat. Even this one too. I don't like that bat. I cut that video up yesterday and I'm like, because this is the review that's coming out on Monday on this bat. That's the Mike Masenko, Mike. So my guys, now what if that is you, right? So my guys are sitting there and they're going, I don't like that bat, but they know that I'll kind of put it to the side and let someone else break it in and that's what I do. I don't take those first few swings with top tier bats or the bats that are just there. I put them on the side and they get actually hit in line. What I think is happening, I don't want to get too far into this. I think what's happening is a lot of you bat review guys out there and take it out of the wrapper, you hit it and you said, this is a good bat. It's a very good bat. I would hit it in a game. Basically, I'm just, all right, what I think is happening is you guys get that bat, and these guys that I've seen do it, and their bat speed's over 100 miles an hour. So if you put that, that's like Bubba, and I did a video on this, like I'm gonna call Bubba out here. That's like Bubba grabbing bats, and he has done this before on video, grabbing all these bats, and he just gets up there and starts bombing away, you know, and he's talking, what else do you want me to swing, you know? So people watching him do that automatically think those bats that he picked up are top tier bats, which they weren't. 2 of them didn't even make my top 10. But because of his bat speed, leverage, he's been in the game since he was 14 years old. He's 50 now. So you know, it's just like him taking him and then putting him out there. I say a lot of these pros out there that have their name on the bat, and they'll go out there and start swinging it. And then all of a sudden you think that bat's hot, so you get it and you're disappointed, so you got to put it up or sell. I'm looking at the bat going, oh my God, you know, that's a shitty bat. I said it was a shitty bat. I don't understand why you guys got it. I have guys tell me up and say, I wish I could have got contact with you before I purchased this bat. Okay, I understand, but just go on my website and just look where it's at. If it's not in my top 10 on either hard barrel, soft barrel, or medium barrel, then don't get it, basically. I'm going to get off that for a minute, just for a minute. UPS. This was delivered to me just like this, UPS, right? This is on a weekly basis on bats that I either purchase or bats that are sent to me to actually try out. This came today. You see that? That came today. That was a case of balls. What they do is, luckily I do senior bats and not USSSA and ASA. Because these kids that are on the senior trucks, and I don't, the senior trucks, these UPS trucks and FedEx trucks, they're on these trucks, and it's not just them, it's the parcel service too. Well, they want USSSA bats because they are expensive. So what they do is they'll rip it open, they'll look inside of it, and if it's not what they want, they'll just run it through. They won't try to tape it back together, just run it through like it was damaged. Even with the balls, they see case of balls on the side of it, you know, but they look inside of it. It's not a ball that they want. They'll just try. What would happen? I mean, this happened, and the person on the other side, I don't put in the claim. The person on the other side has got to put in the claim. So I don't understand. How come they don't crack down? And I'm not saying it's the driver that does it. From what I hear, it happens in the warehouse a lot of times, where the guys early in the morning are loading them trucks and they see that sitting there and they know what it is. So they'll look around, pop it, or get in the truck and do it because no cameras in the truck. So they'll get in that truck that they're loading up and they'll do it. I'm just assuming that's how they do it. But anyway, shaving bats. I have to mention that. I know I started on talking a minute ago. Too much, and I want to talk about shaving bats, and I think Leroy talks about this, and Leroy had mentioned this last week about everybody out there knows somebody that shaved. Everybody that's watching or is going to watch this video, this Facebook Live, knows somebody that shaves. I know people that shave, but again, like Leroy was talking about, it's just so hard to call that person out. It's just, unless he hurts somebody, I mean, that would be different. But again, why wait? But I mean, it's like a slippery slope, guys, because then you're labeled as that guy that called that person out. I mean, look what happened to Jose when he did that with calling out people. He got blackballed. So I don't think a lot of people are out there to take that chance of getting blackballed when it comes to shaving bats. And I know that's a shame. And, you know, this right here is my livelihood. This is what I do. I make all my money that I pay for a lot of this stuff. You know, I'm going to tell you a minute ago that tell you a minute later on where I pay for these things, the balls, I pay for a lot of my stuff. And that's because of the membership channel and what I make off advertising on YouTube. That goes into a slush fund. And then I turn around and I purchase all of my stuff that I need to purchase. And there's something that's got to be done. I think it's got to be done by tournament directors. And I actually heard a rumor the other day where they're going to start compression testing. That's a start. At least they're doing something. I would think too, not only compression testing is checking bats for cracks or the end cap. Like Leroy said, he's right about that. A lot of times you'll have separation in the end cap, where they actually pry it up with a screwdriver, or they actually go out and purchase another end cap and they'll put it in there. And I don't know where. I didn't even see what you said, Bubba. I don't even know where they would get that from. So they have the same end cap that goes on these bats, these bat shaving companies, and they'll put them on there. But at least do an inspection. And the person that is doing the inspection at least has got to be knowledgeable in bats on seam separation, because you're going to kick out a bat that has a seam in it that's not really nothing wrong with it, because it just has a seam on it. So you got to watch what you're doing when you do that, because if somebody kicks that bat out, it's got a crack in it or whatever, then automatically people who are watching it are not educated. People who are watching might call you something, hey, he's cheating, he got a cracked bat. Well, no, they never crack in it. And I've seen this personally happen. So that's what I'm saying. It's got a seam in it. I went up to the guy, it's got a seam in it. Those bats, it was an Adidas. Those bats have a straight seam in it, but they didn't know that because they don't hit those bats a lot. There were a lot of other people know that those bats have a seam on it. Guys, I have discount codes for Short Porch. If you guys want to get a price break. Short Porch, California Bat Company, and Proton. We got a case of balls the end of the day. I'm kind of fly all over the place now. We're going to start hitting these balls. These right here, and you guys can't read that because I think it's turned the other direction. So if you're looking at me, everything's turned around. So this is a Short Porch ball, and I wanted to test these balls out, but look, it's 44,400. Now, a lot of you guys are going, 44,400? Seniors don't hit 44,400. But it's 44,400 at 70 degrees. So whenever temperature rises, I wouldn't recommend that ball anywhere up north. But if the temperature, like down here in the south, and we're going to test these balls out too to see, it was 44,400 compression test at 70 degrees. So when it gets up to 95, when we're hitting in the morning, the other day we got up and it was 85 in the morning. 92 is the other day, it was in the morning. So summertime when we're hitting these balls, what I see now is on my Thunder Advanced balls, they're losing a lot of compression in the mornings. We hit better, and it's a disadvantage, I know, because we hit better in the spring and in the fall. We get more performance. But if I have all of those balls in my bag, it's not going to mess up the review. You understand what I'm saying? It's still, you're going to get the same response if you have all of those balls that we're hitting in those bags. We have 7 bags. You guys seen the picture the other day. We have 7 bags of balls that we do. Thunder Advanced, all of them. We find rocks and we throw them out. Let me just ask my guys. We find the Trump, I think they're Trump rocks, which are very hot balls, and we throw those out. But we've got some of these. We're going to start hitting them next week. They're going to lose compression. They're not going to be 44,400s. They're probably going to get down to probably, I am thinking, probably lose about 50% of 50 points in compression. 44, 450s or something, 350s or something like that. But we'll see. I'll let you guys know about that. And this is just testing. We want to see what they do when we mix them in there on how they perform. Now, going into something else here, and I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but going into something else here. Whenever you guys that do these reviews, and I know you're probably going to hear about this, or I'm going to give you guys some knowledge about this, is when guys are doing reviews, once you tell me that you have a mix of balls, I turn it off. And the reason why is barrel response on bats are different with different balls. Now, been preaching this for a long time, and I'm going to get into it now because I think it actually has started a trend that a lot of bat companies are jumping on to, right? And I'm actually changing the mindset of a lot of people out there that have always thought the norm. Like there was a meme the other day on Facebook. Somebody was saying all this stuff about flex points and barrel flex, and at the end, and he's talking about all these things that I talk about, and at the bottom he goes, just hit the ball, just hit the bat. Well, that's not necessarily true. And I hope a lot of you people don't take that to heart, where every bat is built the same. Every bat is built different. So when you're doing a review on a bat and you have a mix of balls and you tell me there's rocks in there, it's not, because a rock will hit this bat better than it will hit this bat. This bat will hit it good, but a rock will hit, this is a little bit tougher barrel than this bat. You're gonna get a better barrel response than you would on this one. So, because this barrel is soft, this barrel right here is hard. You're still gonna get a response, but you're gonna add a little bit more feet on that ball if you hit this one. So when you're reviewing and you're throwing different bats in there, it's not gonna be a very good review. You've got, and I know this, here's the deal, guys. I know this is tough because I heard somebody saying because they don't have a lot of money to spend on balls. They don't, and I understand that. I actually have a membership channel. I actually have a YouTube channel. It's been going on for 14 years. So I get money direct deposited in my account that I spend that money on balls. So but I built myself up to this, right? I built myself up to this, and I'm actually having to buy my balls, and I do buy my balls. Well, my thought process is guys out there hitting, Pro-Ms or on senior bats, and I throw Pro-Ms out. I'm like, no, we hit them. They go a mile. Who was with us the other day that I just thought it would be a good idea to throw a Pro-M there? Might have been Mark Reeves. Hit one in the street with a Pro-M. That's 400 plus feet. And I'm like, it just like if you're hitting a harder ball that doesn't lose compression in the heat with a harder barrel, you're gonna get better response than a softer barrel or even a medium barrel. So you're gonna put that where, this is a badass bat. Well, what balls were you hitting? And here's the deal too, guys. I know what I would recommend to a lot of you guys that have those mixed balls in your bag that you're hitting is get a hold of a ball company. Bobby Bugs does it, Evil Sports. Have him, because you are on YouTube, so you can actually contact these people and get them to send you something and just hit one ball, not one ball, you know what I mean? He can send you a couple of dozen balls. Get a hold of these ball companies. That's what I did. Hey, I'll just hit your ball. I like your ball. Can you send me some? First, I got a case. Turned around and bought another case because I wanted more. And we only hit, the reason I got seven bags of balls is we hit one round and we go pick them up. That's it. I don't want my guys out there shagging them, bring them back in, because now they're tired and they're worthless to me. So they go shag balls, bring them back in. That's another thing too. Now they're not as strong, so you're not going to get a good review on that anyway. So, yeah, guys, I would prefer, on that false sense of getting, balls out there, and it gives you a false reading on a bat because of what balls you're hitting. Somebody texted me the other day, because since SSUSA only lets you hit Baden balls, the fire, how come you don't get those? I would have to throw 700, 800 balls away or get rid of them and then start buying all those balls. So what I do is I have a ball that is as comparable to that ball. I think Thunder Advance is a little bit more livelier, but not a lot like the Rock. But as long as I have 7 bags of Thunder Advance, I don't think it's going to be that bad on these bats, especially when you're close to. Not if I had 7 bags of rocks, and then you're going to throw it off a little bit because of the compression on the walls that we have on a lot of these bats out there. I am running 30 minutes into this thing. Heavier balls too. A lot of you guys are hitting in old balls. You're hitting old balls. So if you hit old balls, or were they in the dew? Were they setting out? Were they, did you hit them in the dew in the morning? And then all of a sudden they get moisture on them. That'll make that ball hard and heavy later on. So I think this goes into how many guys crack bats too. A lot of you guys have been posting where you're cracking bat in 40 swings, and It was about the wig popper. Somebody had put up there, and I read all of what you're saying, and I got 10 swings on mine, and I got 50 swings on mine, and it blew up, and all you guys are putting, you know, how much is that is really true? How much of that is really true, and how much is it just, you know, you got other trolls that swing other bats, and they jump on and they start saying, you know, trash in a bat. This is the kind of society that we actually live in nowadays, because people actually do that shit. People actually, they have their little minions. I have minions, right? I do. But all these other bat companies have minions too. And they get out there and every time I put out a review, and it could be an hour review, right? So I'll put it out 20 minutes later, I get thumbs down. You didn't even watch the whole thing. You know, every time I put out a podcast, you know, every time I put out something, every time, it's not even done, you know, 10 minutes. I just put it out. I'll go back and look, I got a thumbs down. But so there's people out there that will just trash you just to trash you. Oh shit, I'm gonna thumb him down because he's not putting a good review on my shit. So that's what this society, that Leroy kind of brought this up last week when he was talking about all of these, Charlie Mueller, when you're out there, you said this, it's hard for you to trust anybody. Like when I was talking to him, we went and had breakfast and we were talking, and I said, I don't trust anybody, you know, because you were promised, when you do this, you're promised so much stuff. 3 weeks ago, after I did one of these Facebook Lives, next morning I got a text from a bat company, a good bat company, said, hey, I'm sending you 5 different bats. I'm not gonna rat them out, I don't do that shit. 3 weeks ago, I ain't seen shit. So what he did this for is we want me to talk about what's up and coming. So this is what I have to deal with on a daily basis. Hey, I'm sending you 3 bats are gonna be there. I'm sending you this bat's gonna be there. And then you don't see crap. I text somebody, this is another bat company. I'm working on my 3rd bat company now. That second was from someone else. 2 weeks ago, I heard of this bat that's coming out and it's good. I text him and I said, I have PayPal. What do you have? The only thing I got left is 25.5. Oh, I want a 26.5. Well, they won't come until August. Send me the 25.5. PayPal, let me know. Crickets. That's what I get. And then I see other people are demoing or reviewing that same bat that I talked about. And I'm like, all right. And I don't call them back. I don't bug them. They're doing it for a reason, and I hope that reason is pretty good. Let me talk about, and I'll talk about more about that later, about all these bat reviews. One of them was, getting back into that, another one was gloves, and a lot of gloves are being handed out to people. You notice that we have 2 different glove companies that have given us gloves a month and a half ago, and you haven't seen anything on them, right? Because it takes a while to do a review on a glove. But you have these bat review guys, or these review guys out there now, that in one day they can give you a review on a glove. What if that glove rips the next time you hit it? So you actually said that glove is good. I'm talking about batting gloves. That glove is good, and people listen to that, and people bought that shit. So now your credibility is down because you got free gloves. Swing the glove, hit it. It stretches out. You know, that's another thing too. I don't like gloves that stretch out. So I would say that in a review. But you see them out there. One guy's trying it on, it's brand new, and just because the back is all like, and you guys seen the deal. He starts talking, my kid, he starts talking about how great this, hey, go out and get some. These are the new gloves, well, 35, 40 bucks. Go out and get some. These are the gloves, but hit with them for a while. Get them sweaty. See if that little finger flips over, because they're made for guys with big ass hands. Talk about that. Well, you know, guys need to go lower in sizes. That's what we do. You know, you haven't seen a review on the glove because we're not done yet. We haven't ripped one yet. And when it comes out, we'll tell you what if it ripped. We're doing 2 different bat companies, 2 different glove companies, batting glove companies about these reviews. I already did that one. I was cutting video up the other day. I don't want to apologize for this. I was cutting video up the other day, and it's like I'm drunk. And if you guys seen these, I am so sorry because I don't drink. So, but it looks like I'm drunk and I'm talking like this. And a couple of them are regular, and a couple of them are, I'm hitting balls and I'm stumbling. Well, I was on pain meds. I was on pain meds. My back hurt so much, I was on pain meds. The only way I can get through anything or talking is actually, take some pain meds. And I don't take a lot of them, but they affect me really hard. And I cut them in half and I take them. I'm like, wow, shit. That kind of messed me up. I want to congratulate Tommy Clark, one of my ex-teammates, for getting to the Hall of Fame, Senior Softball Hall of Fame. Murray Williams is in there too. I think he got in there a few months back, and those are my ex-teammates that I used to play with. Tommy Clark's a hell of a player, a badass player. Well-deserved, guys. I want to congratulate you for getting into that. My discount codes are up on my website, www.seniorsoftballvatreviews.com. Share this. You guys out there watching this crap, share this. It's not really crap, it's educational. I'm going to kind of jump all over the place a little bit here. Injuries. If you guys, the best thing, if you guys don't want to take what I'm going to fix to talk about, what I suggest, the first thing, if you guys get an injury or you guys have surgery, I see a lot of guys having knee surgery, a lot of guys having neck surgery, any kind of surgery on tendons, bones. I'm not talking about other kind of surgeries. I'm talking about just surgeries that that are replacing things, replacing a shoulder, replacing a vertebrae, discectomy for your back. One thing that you guys need to start doing is, well, for one, your testosterone, because you'll never heal good if your testosterone's low. But I always talk about this, but I want to remind you guys is you guys need to be on testosterone because testosterone helps your body heal. Another thing too is fasting. Right when you guys get out of the hospital, 24 hours, 25 hours, don't eat. The longer the better. Because what happens is when you don't eat, your body releases HGH, human growth hormone. It's a little gland between your eyes, like way back in here. Usually, up in here, there's a little pea-sized gland that pulsates growth hormone. Well, growth hormone heals everything very fast, really fast. That's the quick way to get it actually, and it increases it by a lot, guys. I'm not just talking about a little bit. Fasting increases human growth hormone by a lot. So I would recommend on you guys that are recovering from an injury right now, do your fasting at least once or twice a week. I know it's going to be hard because you're sitting there or laying there. A lot of these knee or hip replacements going to want you to get up and start moving, going through therapy. I would recommend a lot of you guys to start fasting during your therapy or start fasting during your rehab. At least 24 hours, guys. If you can start off at 16 and can go 24, fasting is great for the body. A lot of you guys are pre-diabetic. Start fasting. Add that in too. And I'll do a video on this later on. It'll actually go on my membership channel. Talk a little bit more in depth on what it actually does for you. So another thing too is there's two different things that I recommend to people that I actually know or will actually contact me. BPC 157, it's a peptide, and TB 500, that too is a peptide. It's injectable, and you shoot it into the area where you want to heal. BPC 157, actually, that is one that you shoot into the area to help heal tendons. That is something that's outside the box that a lot of people don't want to do. The only thing about the BPC 157 or the TB 500 is if you have any cancer, do not take it because it will actually elevate. Same thing with testosterone. It'll elevate the cancer growth. If you start taking testosterone, that's come a lot of people that actually have had prostate surgery to get the prostate removed. And you guys out there they try to suppress your testosterone levels and bring them down to like your PSA to 0, because they don't want you to get cancer somewhere else. So, and what happens when you had your prostate out, it's just so hard to get on testosterone. and I'll talk about that later about S.A.R.M.S. There are some S.A.R.M.S out there that does not produce growth of cancer. But definitely you're not, if you have a predisposition of cancer, you know, the BPC 157 I would not take, or the TB 500. I've taken them. They've speed up my recovery, and they haven't actually affected me. And I get my blood work done, guys, every 3 months, you know, so I have a blood panel too. Me and Charlie next week, and I want to bring Charlie on next week and talk about cholesterol. A lot of you guys are being, I don't know, lied to or talked about about cholesterol. And me and Charlie has had this lengthy conversation. A couple other people have had this lengthy conversation about cholesterol and a lot of these blockers that they want to give you a prescription for. My cholesterol level the other day was 132, and he wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine. She wanted to put me on cholesterol medicine. I asked her why, and she said because my good cholesterol was low. It's supposed to be 40. I think mine was 25. But because of that, they wanted to put me on cholesterol, you know, a statin drug. Guys, that statin drug, you have to have cholesterol. Do some research. Go Google it, you know, and don't listen to everything. Go Google it and listen to a bunch of people what statin drugs actually do to you. They kick your ass, guys. You need cholesterol for your brain. You need cholesterol to heal. So if you're on a statin and you're trying to heal from an injury, I always say, you want to lower your cholesterol, change your diet. Two things to lower cholesterol: sugar and carbs. Not bacon, not fat. It's sugar and carbs. Cut your sugars first and go to your carbs later. Don't consume any carbs. The only carbs you should be consuming is in leafy vegetables, broccoli, the little carbs you get from there, because your body needs carbs, especially playing softball. And I've said this in the past, you got to carb up, guys, because you're burning those calories. So you have to carb up, brown everything. If you're going to play softball and you want those carbs to actually get you through a tournament, because you just can't eat protein to get you through a tournament. So you got to consume some carbs. A lot of you outfitters, you guys are running a base. I would say brown rice, brown bread, anything brown, complex carbohydrates, not simple carbs. I think that'll benefit a lot of you guys out there that are running the bases, because if you guys are running the bases in senior softball and you're playing an outfield and you're playing with a 5-man infield, this is for your major plus, because you only see major plus or their major teams have 5-man infields, right? So you got guys out there, 3 guys out there running around. Then you come in and they want you to run for somebody. You tell them, kiss your ass. Because what's going to happen is when they're handed out MVPs or all tournaments at the end of this freaking tournament, you ain't going to get shit, because your batting average is going to plummet on that Saturday, Sunday game. If you're playing on Fridays, you're playing Saturday night and the tournament's over, your batting average is going to suck. Why? Because you're tired as shit. You're over 50, right? Or if you get your 40s, I would say even in your 40s. If you're an outfielder, you know, I tried to tell Tommy Clark this too in the past. Quit. No, don't. Quit trying to run for everybody, because you can hit like, we need you on Sunday or we need you on Saturday night, you know, quit it. And a lot of you guys out there that are doing that, if you have to do that, you've got to have a whole grain bagels in your bag in the dugout. You got to be munching on bagels the whole time to keep your carbs up. You're still going to be spent, but still, especially if you're playing 5-man, 4-man, maybe, but not all the time. Only when the game's on the line. Right? I've always preached that. I've not always preached it. I've seen it from playing all these years. What time do I have? I got 10 minutes. What am I going to do here in 10 minutes? I got 5 minutes to talk about something. Talking slow, MK. There is something out there, guys, I want to talk to you guys about. It's not a S.A.R.M. And if you guys want to go, when I talk about injuries, whenever I talk about injuries, and I know I have injuries, I had a back injury. I'm trying to fix that so I can get back out there and play. You guys see me hitting, you know, I hit like shit with a back injury because I just can't torque from my lower back injury. But there is something out there that I really do like. And it's not a SARM, it's a secretagogue. And I know about this because I've been tested, I've been prodded. I was on a research study on growth hormone about 6 or 7 years ago, where I did a study. And I did a 2-year study where I had to give up blood, and they were giving me this stuff to increase my, I'll think of it in a minute, my human growth hormone levels, because my pituitary gland does not secrete. So me taking this stuff I'm telling you about, I couldn't take it because it's not gonna help pulse, because mines don't pulse because I'm low growth. And a lot of guys over the age of 50 are low growth. I mean, that's how come you don't heal as fast, you know, so you gotta get your testosterone levels up. You gotta fast because that's gonna increase your human growth hormone to actually help you heal. Another one too is MK677. And if you guys wanna do research on that, go Google it and do a little bit of research on that. I'm gonna do a video on that again too, where great results. And it's a secretagogue, so it actually pulsates the pituitary gland to release growth. Take it at nighttime. You know, there's a debate there, take it at nighttime or during the day, because you produce growth at night when you get in that 4-hour REM sleep. That's whenever you start producing growth. You start getting that pulse. You do it during the day too, but not as much as you get into that 4-hour REM sleep. Rapid eye movement is REM. That's when you're in that deep sleep. Your pituitary gland actually will pulse out growth to actually help your body heal whatever you've done, worked out or whatever. So fasting helps when you're working out too. So if you are, you know, fasting, it helps your body heal to get to the next workout. That's another thing too. I'm going to stop in 3 minutes and I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. And I hope I don't piss off anybody. And I talked about this the other day. First, I want to talk about this one. If I missed that other one, I'll talk about it next week. But a lot of you guys out there, and this is, don't think I'm trying to be a dick here. And this is something that I actually believe in. And it's called the placebo effect. Not only do you have a placebo effect when it comes to medication, but you have it again too when it comes to other things. It's just not just with, like, they would test people. And I've done this, guys. I've done that testing with different things in my life, right? That's how come I know a lot of shit. You know, I've done research. I've read papers, right? So they have something called the placebo effect. You would not believe how many seniors out there get that placebo effect. In other words, I think, therefore I am. When you walk up to the booth and you have this guy talking to you, and he's bigger than life, he's everywhere, he's got posters everywhere, and he talks about, I'm not even going to grab your bat. He talks about a bat. I'm not going to call out anybody. He talks about a bat, right? This is the best bat you ever swung. So he's telling you, right? So he's already in your brain. So that guy takes that bat out and he starts hitting with it, and he hits a bomb. I've heard this numerous times. And these are bats that I've done reviews on, and the bat sucks. So this guy takes this bat out. First time up, I hit a 330, an older guy. I hit a 330-foot home run. First time up, that's a good bat, okay? There's something called a placebo effect when it comes to you seniors out there, and I hate to break your heart, man, but I see it a lot. So the first question that I asked was, how'd you do in a tournament? Whenever that really wasn't doing it, that bat really wasn't doing it for you anymore, because I thought that bat sucked. So I think, therefore I am. If you guys are stuck on bats that are not top tier bats, you might want to think that that has something to do with it, because physics doesn't agree with you. Bro science doesn't agree with you. And I don't know if he's watching or something. And I actually witnessed this. I've never done this, but I have witnessed this. This guy comes up in a tournament. And I'll call him out. You can actually ask him. I was in that tournament with him. Mickey Rodriguez, our pitcher. We're playing the pool game. My kid. So we're playing a pool game, and one of our outfielders comes up and he has this bat, And he goes, I'm not even going to say the name of the bat. Well, he goes, he's 0 for 4 in the first pool game. Second game, he's 1 for 3. So we're getting ready to play bracket play now. So he comes up to Mickey and he goes, and Mickey knows the placebo effect, right? He walks up to Mickey and he goes, man, this bat sucks. And Mickey goes, that's not, doesn't suck. You know, it's okay. What's wrong with it? And he goes, man, I just can't hit with it. So Mickey throws it on the ground. He steps on the handle, right? A couple of times. And he rolls it. Steps on the handle, rolls it around, steps on the handle. He goes, there you go. Guy didn't make an out the rest of the tournament. They got MVP, all tournament. And he goes, damn, Mickey, that worked. And Mickey's like, yeah, good. Well, he just changed his mindset is what he did. So you know how many times that this has happened, that I've seen it happen to guys that get bats because they have been preached about this bat, or they have this hero that is trying to push this bat, and they get it and they think it's great, and then but later on they turn around and sell it because that placebo effect actually works off, but it's good at the beginning, so it actually wears out. And then, you know, a lot of you guys out there suffer from that. I'm not saying all of you guys. Another thing is not absolutes. Everybody's doing it, but it's something that I've seen, and it doesn't. No, I'm not saying all of you guys. A lot of you guys, you know, I'm saying less than 50%. You know, probably 20 of guys out there will actually have that placebo effect. And you guys look it up. It actually does exist, where you guys, if you think it's going to work for you, it's going to work for you. You know, that's that mindset that me and Charlie want to talk about. You know, the way I think, therefore I am. You know, and this is the proven fact where you have these guys that are so bragging about themselves, you know, especially in the major plus level. It doesn't bother me, because if you had that mindset when you're going to major plus, and if you have that mindset when you're going to major plus, and you go in there thinking that, you know, that you're going to suck. So if you walk up the plate and the only thing on your mind is, I know what I'm going to do here. If you walk in that plate, you're going to get a hit. Well, if you walk in that plate thinking, oh, shit, you know, we'll talk more about that next week. But if you walk in that plate and you're thinking that you suck, you shouldn't be in this position, you know, then you're going to suck. So guys out there, and I know why you do it, guys out there, I know why you do it, because, and you talk about it, because I don't want anybody that's playing on my team. Like I had one guy one year tell me, we're going to Hispanic Worlds. And the day before Hispanic Worlds, we're up there. You know, I think it was in Denver that year. Well, we're up there, and he's talking about he doesn't think he's ready for this. And I'm like, this is fucking Worlds, dude. You're not ready for this? Right away, I knew how he was going to bat in the tournament, right? But if he walked in there and goes, let's get this shit going, you know, and starts talking shit. Me and Bubba do it every time. At 17 years I played with Bubba. You should have seen us before tournaments. Holy shit. You know, it's almost like that Muhammad Ali kind of theory. He's the greatest. Well, you can talk yourself into being the greatest, guys. But if you think you suck, you're going to talk yourself into sucking. So it's that mindset. Me and Charlie will talk about this next week. It's that mindset that you have to have when you play that top level ball. You've got to think that you're the greatest out there. You've got to be that guy. There's nobody out here who can beat my highest batting average. You got to walk out there. Even though it might not happen, you've got to think that way. And I know that's bad because you come off as very arrogant. And you do. You come off bad. And you might not have a lot of friends. But I don't want friends playing softball. I really don't. If you're a badass and I can hate you, I'm your teammate, right? And Bubba tell you the same thing. Bubba's been there, done that. And me and Bubba, remember Bubba back in the day, we would talk shit to each other, you know, and we would talk shit in the dugout. Not down in people, but we were like, I'm going to beat your ass in batting average, Bubba. And I carried him. I've carried Bubba for 17 years. I'm only saying that because you said that last week and I didn't read that. But you said that shit last week, kind of upset me. But I carried Bubba's ass. Hit him. You know, but then again, we always start a tournament. We were fighting against each other on who's going to get the MVP or get the all tournament, you know. And if we didn't get it, then hey, we had a good tournament. Somebody else get it, the guy with the busted eye. Remember, Bubba? That's story time. I'm going to tell that story next week. The guy with the broken eye, the guy that got busted eye, got hit 500. Gary hit 500 and got it. So yeah, let me talk about bats before I get off because I'm running to an hour already. And I'll talk about the other shit next week. What we got coming up. You guys seen this review right here. What I did was on the 27, I went down in weight, got the 26. This is the 26, 27. Someone's borrowing it last night. So I don't have it with me. But if you guys look at the review, you notice that I have a bat that's got bat tape all the way up to here. It comes all the way down. That was a 27 ounce. What I did with that bat, I did a little experiment. Because it has a flexi handle on the 27, I actually put bat tape running it from here all the way up to here and went back down. I actually cut the flex out of that handle just by doing that. And I know you can't do that. You can't have that in the game because you can't have that in the game because they don't let you run bat tape all the way up here. But I want to do experiment. You guys can see me. Guys can see us hitting it. It's a 27 ounce Johnny Bailey. So what I did was I taped it to cut out the flex and it worked. It actually cut out the flex and you see the guys hitting it really good. But what we did with this one, this is a 26, we actually went down in weight after we did, you know, and this one does no flex in it because it's got a 16.5 on the end and 9.2 on the hands. So this does not flex in the hands. I got no flex out of it. It got flex, but the kind of flex that I like. So that's kind of, if you guys can actually look and see that, you notice that I'm doing a little experiment to see if I can cut down on that flex on that handle. Let me talk about this bat. And I don't know if Carlos has these anymore. And I think Carlos, yes. I don't know if Carlos has these anymore. And I think if he does, that you guys need to pick these up. And this is the reason. It's the Greg Cerna. It's the Onyx 2-piece bat right here. This one has got a crack in it. And it cracked, I think it was 600 swings I think we got on it. This bat is a soft barrel bat. So I even have it. I think I have it up my soft barrel side. So a lot of you seniors out there, this is actually looks like a 12, maybe a 13 inch. It's got 16.9, 8.1 on the hands. It's an end load bat. But what it does, it's got a soft barrel on it. Carlos had developed this bat for balls that lose compression in hot weather. So he softened up that barrel, guys. This is a badass bat, soft barrel bat. I love this bat. This bat and the Johnny Bailey, I swung very well. You know, the Johnny Bailey this year. I like swinging that bat. We are done with the review on this bat. What they were trying to do with this bat was mimic a balanced Adidas bat. I think it was red. Joseph, you might want to correct me here. But what we did, it's got a little texture on it. And what we did with this bat, it's a 27 ounce. It's got 16.7 on the end, 9.8 on the hand. So it could be called a balanced bat. Great pop. The review is going to be out on it, I think, on Tuesday. Great pop on that bat. It's got a little bit harder barrel than that Adidas that he was trying to mimic. But guys, that's a good bat. It's a balanced bat. But it'll go on my harder barrel side it actually did make my top 5. You know, I'm kind of giving it away, but the review will be out. That bat's a good bat, and it'll be on my review coming the middle of next week. I've already got it. I just need to have some talking points in it. There is 2 bats out here. This bat right here, remember they only made 190 of them? This one right here is supposed to mimic this one. But what they did was, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, this bat has a decal on it. This bat has a, wow, I can't even think of the name of it right now. You see how it's painted? It's not actually painted. If Trey, if you're watching this, you can tell me, but I'll think of it in a minute. It's actually, the paint job is different, right? So this one's actually painted. This one has a wrap. There you go. It's a wrap. This one has a wrap on it. And I don't know how they do it. We kind of talked about it the other day and they told me how they did it, but they didn't tell me, but my guys told me. I think Trey, the short porch guy, told me how they did it. And you dip the kind where you use water and all that other, you just dip it in it. Anyway, that's that bat. So what we're doing is, this bat is very hot. I didn't do a review on this bat because they only made 190 of them. They discontinued them. Very hot bat. Top 3, top 4, you know, hard barrel bats. They're right here. But I didn't do a review on it, but it is very hot. This one is making a different sound when we hit it. And I kind of knew it would after I heard what they did. This is the wrap, this is the paint. So anytime you paint, you change that paint scheme. And this is another thing too I preached. Anytime you change that paint scheme on a bat, it actually affects the performance, either good or bad. Another thing too, if you put clear coat on a paint, I'm kind of giving a lot of shit away here. If you put clear coat on a paint, it changes the performance. If you put a matte finish, it changes the performance. You guys figure out, on you bat companies, figure out if it's good or bad. This is the Johnny Bailey. I love this bat. I love that soft barrel. You get great performance on it. This review will be out. We got to hit it one more time. This review will be out this next coming up week. After Thursday. We hit it. We're going to hit it on Thursday. I'm taking Tuesday off. I'm kind of getting burnt out. ASA bats too. This is another thing. ASA bats. This is the one from Suncoast that we're doing. This bat's hot, guys. You know, a lot of guys love it. A lot of guys actually taking it home with them. Taking it home with them and hit league ASA. Okay, dipping. There you go. So, good bat right here. We're going to put out a review on that in the next couple of weeks. The reason is it's an ASA bat. Light on the hands, can take a little longer to break in. That's another thing too that I need to explain to you guys. When you have a balanced bat, it takes longer to break it on a balanced bat than it does an end load because of that mass. You got to get this through your head, guys. You can't take a balanced bat and get out there and take 100 swings on it and expect it to be opened up for you. It won't, because you don't have that mass on the end. You got that high handle weight and you have that mass on the end. So your bat doesn't, and nothing bat speed, you know. That's how come I hardly ever put how many swings it took for us to break it in. And that really doesn't mean anything, because our bat speed is different than your bat speed. So you're going to get a different reading, you know, on that bat on breaking it in. So I hope you don't do this, but a lot of you guys will give up. Well, Dave says it takes 150 swings. You know, shit, I'm into it for 180 swings. Well, your bat speed is different than ours. Don't give up on it, especially when I say it's a top tier bat. Keep swinging it. And I think a lot of you guys out there give up on the shit. And you put them on, I see them, man. I see them on eBay. I see them on these channels that you can buy, sell, and trade on these channels. Don't give up on your shit. Swing it as many times and get used to the swinging weight. A lot of you guys give up on bats because it doesn't fit your swing. If it's a top tier bat, make it fit your swing. You know, change shit. I mean, don't be, that's another thing too. I'll get in another video about that. This is another bat that we're working on right now. Again, after this next week, the review will be out on it. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. This one too. A lot of guys like this bat. This is California Bat Company. It's for not for the older guys. It's for the guys with that 90, 100, 105 mile an hour bat speed. It's a one-piece bat. And you know, Leroy's going to talk about this, I hope, is that date of birth. I hope every bat manufacturer, and I don't think you can patent that, Leroy, but I don't think I think every bat manufacturer needs to go that way. That when you know when it's actually manufactured. And I wish it would have done a long time ago, because I think a lot of you guys would have benefited, because I did put a video out on the Adidas and the Reeboks on the last year that they were made. They were terrible. And a lot of you guys were buying those bats up and getting different response on them, thinking those are hot ass bats. But what they did was that last year, when they knew that contract was up, they actually made shitty bats. The reason I know that is because I tested those bats in that last year too, because they were my gamers. And I didn't understand why every bat that I bought that year sucked. So I kind of common sense talked to a few people, and they just didn't put top quality carbon into it. And that's what Suncoast actually prides themselves on, is that top quality. And I understand it, trying to cut costs, and they weren't going to put that shit out there. Adidas is not going to pay, you know, for that shit. You know, kind of cut cost. Proton. This is the 2-piece. When you swing this bat, one thing like about protons is the way they swing. And I talk about tuning on different bats on how to feel, how they tune in. Hitting this bat tunes in fast. It's got a great swing to it. You have talked to Charles, which tells me it's got great balance points, great flex points, weight distribution in the bat. So yeah, those are coming up on a 2-piece. I'm waiting on a couple other bats. And this is the 1-piece. This is the 16-8. You gotta let you guys are asking me what we're swinging. Guys, only one bat is a 3/4 ounce end load that we're swinging. A lot of you guys text me when you see those videos on what we are swinging. What are the balance points? What's the weights? They're all 1/2 ounce end loads. He's not going to load a bat for you, right? And you're telling me what are the weights on that 1/2 ounce end load? Well, they're 9.5, usually about 9.5, you know, and then they got 16.5 on those bats. This is more like a 3/4. They call it 3/4. It's got 16.8 and 9.2 on the hands, 9.1. He loads his 3/4 ounce in the low 9s. And then what he does with his end load, and I kind of know why he's doing it. I'm not going to talk about it, but what he does is he doesn't put big mass on the end. He trying to goes in a 16.3, 16.5, 16.6, 16.7, but great barrel response. It's as far as I'm going to go when I'm talking about this bat, because the barrel is so high performance that he can lower that end weight on that bat, and you're going to get great performance on it. You know who does that too is the Dudleys, which I have to talk about in a minute too. I spent on those Dudleys close to $900. And I'll talk about those Dudleys now. And those are hot ass Dudleys. You'll notice that when you hit those Dudleys, right? And you have that bat speed that's up there and you hit those bats, you're going to get tremendous carry. You're going to get that backspin. You're going to get tremendous carry on those bats. It's going to be like, but they sound hard. They don't loosen up. They sound hard. It's got a hard barrel on it. I wouldn't recommend it for those guys with that 75 minus mile an hour bat speed. You know, the lower guys, even you guys in the middle, you know, if you've got to really torque, you got to really hit it, you know, and I'm that middle guy. You've got to really hit it to get any kind of distance on it. You notice that watching the video, you notice that my younger guys, my 50-year-old guys are out there hitting it and they're getting great barrels. Charlie Mueller, ask him. He turned around and said, this bat's live. Yeah, it's hot. Problem is, when you have a bat like that and you hear it, right? Because you're just waiting. You're waiting because of the way that bat sounds, not like any other bat. He can go down, Dudley can go down in weight on both the Party Time and the Bobby Nifong and still get great performance on those bats. Proton too. Proton could go down on end weight. They're going to still get that barrel response on those bats. I need to get off. I only got a couple more things to say. Talk too much. One more bat. This one right here. Mike Masinko. I'll end this on Miken. Mike Masinko, 13.5-inch barrel, big mass on the end. This is a 20, should be a 26. So it's got 17, on a 26, it's got 17.2 on the end, and it's got an 8.5 on the hands. Miken. I'll end with this. Miken. And I don't like saying this, and I think what's going to happen with Miken in the future is they got something working here, right? They have something, they're working on something, it's good. And I'm happy for them. I said that in the video the other day. I'm very happy for them. This review will be out on Monday or Tuesday. And you guys can look. Give it a chance, because we're about to give up on it. Give it a chance, and you'll be happy that you did. This is one of those bats like somebody's going to grab. A lot of the guys with the lower bat speed, and they're going to take about 200 swings on it, and they're going to throw it. They're not going to like it, you know, or it doesn't fit their swing. Just give that bat a chance, and you'll see why. So, Miken, that's what I was talking about. Miken has come up with something, and I think in the future is very good for Miken, and that's the reason why, because they're going to tune this bat later on. Not saying that it needs it, but it's a top tier bat. It's got a softer barrel. What I would hope Miken would do is later down come up with a harder barrel for the 40-year-olds. You know, the guys just now getting in the softball, because I think they got that market from the 50, 55, 60 you'll see a lot of guys out there swinging these bats this next year, you know, because they do get tremendous performance even with that 80, 90 mile an hour bat speed. You know, a lot of the 40-year-olds don't have that. They have that 100 mile an hour bat speed still, right? So I think what is going to happen with Mike, and because they're on to something here, and I don't want to call it a game changer. I kind of got away from calling Mike that game changer shit because I got hammered the last few years on that. So what I'm going to tell you is they've come up with something that nobody else has. They've come up with a barrel that nobody else has. You know, I hope next year they make that handle on that Johnny Bailey a little bit more stiffer. That will actually increase performance a little bit, you know, for those guys that actually have that bat speed and won't flex that big ass mass in a 12-inch barrel. We don't get that. We don't get that with this one. The reason is because of the barrel, I think, between this one and this one. I think that barrel is making it flex. Why? I mean, common sense will kind of tell you if you're looking at this on why. So you got all this to flex, right? You got all this to flex. Right here, it's only going to flex here. Here, it's going to flex all right here. So you got more area to flex, and I think if they toughen only this barrel up, the Mike Masenko does not flex, even though it has bigger mass on the end, bigger swing weight on the end. So I think what's going to happen with Mikan, and I always been a Mikan fan. I just didn't like what they were producing for the last 5-6 years. I mean, I really didn't. I thought they had to go back to the drawing board. Well, what they did was they went to another factory. I'm not saying another factory. They went to a different machine because these are made on a different machine. These Mikans are made on a different machine. I think they have something here, and I think they need to stick with it and not get away from it because they got a top tier bat that's probably going to be there for a long time. There's not another bat company out there that produces this. You know, a lot of bat companies will mimic, but this is something different, and I like that. I like that different. It's not just like the same other bat companies. I'm not saying they're out there. I'm just not saying they're not going with that different design. It's got a different barrel on it. So I think what they're going to do in these next few years is they're going to tune it. They're going to come out with something next year, and hopefully they'll tune it a little bit different, you know. But I like the balance points in this one because it is a 3/4 ounce. I call it a 3/4 ounce end load. I don't know if it's that big. So how do you guys hear 1 ounce end load and you're going to shy away from this bat? No, don't shy away. It's got a 3/4 ounce end load. So they call it 1 ounce. It's not. But by my bat weighing system. So basically, ladies, I have not forgot about you. I'm actually going to do, God dang it. I have not forgot about you. I'm actually going to do something for you girls. Ladies, right here. You talking about a good bat. Light right here. Even the Dale balance bat. That barrel fits y'all. Whew. But I'll do a separate video about you girls out there and talk about it, guys. Hey, don't be a dick, and I'll see you guys again next week. Thanks for watching. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I got a couple more here that I want you to take a look at. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button right down here below. And I also have a membership channel. It's that little join button that you have right down here. Click on it, and it actually has a small video in there that explains everything in the membership. Plus, it actually helps support what we do. Thanks, guys.